Welcome to another SkaredCast battle report. Today, first game of 7th edition. We have 500 points of Dark Eldar Witch Cult versus 500 points of the Vile Chaos Space Marines facing off on this battlefield, defouled by war. On the Dark Eldar side, starting the journey of the Witch Cult, we have a Witch Cult, a Succubus with a Power Lance and Haywire Grenades. You can see there, have to get her painted. As troops, 2 units of Witches, a 5-man strong and an 8-man strong. 1 in a Venom with dual cannons, 1 in a Raider with Grizzly trophies. The Hecatrix here has a Venom Blade and a Phantasm Grenade Launcher. 6 Reaver jet bikes. That is 500 points. The Chaos Space Marines, an infantry heavy list with us. Marked Zinch Sorcerer, level 2. 2 units of Space Marines. These have mark of Nurgle. These have mark of Undivided and Undivided Terminators with a Flamer. The mission, we will roll, we will deploy, and we will be right back. Excited to play the new Warhammer 40,000 7th edition. This is battle report number 1. Let's begin. Okay, so deployment and mission. We are playing Crusade Dawn of War. I wanted it to be night fight because I can choose whether I want night fight or not, and I've rolled and I did not roll a 4-up. There's 1 objective in the cathedral, 1 objective in that crater by the Plague Marines. Not the Plague Marines, the Nurgle Marines. 1 objective there, 1 objective in the Aquila, 1 objective here, and that is 5 objectives. I deployed first. I chose to deploy first. Now I get to choose whether to go first or second. After seeing my opponent's deployment, I will choose to go second. And unit of witches, and I rolled pain token on my combat drugs. So all my guys, that's everyone in my army, has a pain token. So feel no pain. And this unit has feel no pain if you're charged, thanks to double pain token. And I left my Reavers in reserve, and his Terminators with the Flamer are indeed in reserve. So now we're moving on to Chaos Space Marines, turn 1. Now, Psychic Powers for his Warlord. He's a Marked Zinch who's got the Storm of Fire of Zinch as a Primaris power, and then he rolled on Biomancy twice. So he's got Iron Arm, Hemorrhage, and Life Leech, I believe is the first one. No, Smite, because he rolled everything on the same. We believe that's how it works. If you don't think so, let us know in the comments down below. Now moving on to turn 1. Let's begin. Turn 1 recap. We had the Chaos Space Marines advance and run forward. The Sorcerer cast Iron Arm on himself. In retaliation, the Dark Eldar moved backwards because they're great at that, and the Venom succeeded in killing 1 of the Nurgle Marines. 3 objectives, 4 objectives have been found. So we have a Gravwell generator, we have nothing of note, we have a scatter field that does exactly the same thing, and a targeting matrix. So now we're moving on to Chaos Space Marine, turn 2, and he will roll for reserves on camera to see if his Terminators arrive on a 3+. They don't. We'll be back right after this. Chaos Space Marine turn 2. The Chaos Space Marines defile the Basilica in all its glory. We had 3 warp charges generated for a total of 5. 3 were cast on Iron Arm, and the Dark Eldar used all 3 to deny Iron Arm, and the other power was failed to cast. Plague Marines ran away from the objective and ran very little. Everything fired into the Raider, who jinked out of the way, saving himself from a penetrating hit from a plasma gun and 2 glancing hits from bolters. 1 hull point was put on the Raider, however, making it only be able to snap shoot next turn. So now we're seeing if the Dark Eldar reserves arrive. The Reaver jet bikes need a 3+. They do not show up, waiting for the last possible moment to strike with speed. Dark Eldar turn 2. The Venom moved up, fired a lot into these Plague Marines, killed 1 more. Then this happened. They got out of their ride, ready to charge the unit of Chaos Space Marines by the grab wedge generator, threw in a defensive grenade, so a blind grenade. The blind test was passed, but I failed my 4-inch charge because I was at -4, even with my fleet reroll. So they are now stuck in the open, and their flamers and bolters aiming right at their faces. Do the Terminators arrive? They do. We'll be back right after Chaos Space Marine turn 3. Turn 3, Chaos Space Marines. We had the Nurgle Marines shoot at this Venom after the Flamer fired and didn't kill anyone inside, but they knocked it down. The Witches are now ready to charge. This entire shooting didn't see any one of the Witches dead because of the obscurement rule. So one obscured, I was obscured from his point of view in there, which gave me 3+ cover saves thanks to Conqueror Cities. Now we're rolling to see if the Reaver jet bikes show up, and they do. So now moving on to Dark Eldar, turn 3. Dark Eldar, turn 3. So, the game. Succubus and Witches jumped into the combat after they lost quite a few members from the Reaver Blade Veining attack. In combat, the power weapon, the power lance, killed the champion and one more model in the challenge, and the Witches finally took out the sorcerer, running him down, making them fearless with 4 pain tokens. In combat with the Terminators, one lance took out a Terminator, the Witches charged in and killed another one to lose none of their number for a tied combat. And with that, the Chaos Space Marines have thrown in the towel. What an interesting game. Lots of different things have been happening. Redeemer, my brother, first game of 7th edition. Very small. What did you think?
Well, this is a small first game. I had to iron out some of the kinks and make the game smoother. But yeah, overall, it feels like a good game. I'd like some of the changes, and it's just to see how it develops in the months to come.
Fantastic. And this, of course, is the first game, the prologue, in my 20-game series with the Witch Cult. So it's going to be me playing with a lot of witches. Thanks a lot for tuning in, as always. Like the channel, subscribe if you really like it, share it with your friends, check out the blog and podcast at scarred.podbean.com. Thanks a lot. This is Skari.